G Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 173. Just finished the last one, took a little break, had a little snack, grabbed myself some tea, and I should be drinking my tea before it goes cold. You guys know how my drinks always go cold before I ever finish them. So let me do that real quick. All right, but we're gonna be continuing our photo bashing series, and I keep telling myself to do something and I never do it, and I'm gonna try to do it this time. So just bear with me and let's get this one going. I got David Finch still playing in the background. After that, I believe it's Fat Man on Batman.
Helped a bunch with it. And,
let me see. Yeah, or Fat Man Beyond.
So,
but either way.
And if you go to, I highly recommend you. Here's my weekly Page One Comics plug. But I didn't plan it this way. But yeah, if you go to his website, he's an incredible designer. So he really is a I want to say jack of all trades, but he's not. He's really a master of any trades, web development, all kinds of stuff.
All right. Danielle Carrier says, hey, I think Dave should speak as much French as he wants.
He's
no,
French.
I think it's more French. And Jim Klein says, l'esprit de l'escalier is the French phrase.
Yeah, see? And actually, I have to admit, that's something good. I don't know that. So, yeah, I only know that from a comic. So, you can't say you don't learn things from comic.
Thank you, Neil Gaiman. All right.
Try and do things as one-handed as I can.
I didn't miss anybody, which I did. Here we go. Next super chat is from Tegmo Model Works for $10. Tag says, hey, Finches, glad you guys are taking some time off. I will still be watching all the other content and look forward to seeing Monday Night Draw Season 2. Love you guys. Good point. Oh, and we are doing a book. I think it was Henry asked about that. Dave's, did you upload the...
What I'm doing this week?
We are speaking with Dave, our dealer. I think we're gonna kickstart it.
I don't know.
I don't know how we're doing it, but he mentioned it to his art dealer, and his art dealer's on the ball. Jason Chatner, who does art books for all kinds of artists.
Yes, and beautiful
ones. So there's going to be a book of all the stuff from the first season.
But I want to put some of the paintings in there too. I know it's not from the screen, but I want to put some of the paintings in. And so we talked about, is that going to be very expensive? So I'm hoping that it doesn't increase the price too much, because I'd like to do it.
Michael Johnson Curry is a super chat for $9.99. Michael says, also as an aside, thank you both for all this info. It's so hard to reach anyone in the industry, and everyone is radio silent. What you've done here, helping us is a godsend. Thank you both, and enjoy the vacay. Thank you for the super chat, Michael, for $9.99.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Love you guys. How can we not be like we're taking a vacation, but how can we not come back? We love you guys. I just hope you guys come back. What if they don't come back, right? What if they don't come back?
All right.
Still going one-handed here.
Matthew Fuentes says you should put together a best of the stream. It will be mostly Meredith laughing uncontrollably. That would be fun. The cackle, just like Meredith's cackle, and then like clicks over and over again. I could do that myself.
You could.
I could. Sheldon Martin, I made it. It was race moment here. Welcome, Sheldon. We dropped a bomb tonight. Get some deets up on the stream. Deets. Look at me.
This is cringy as my
So lazy.
spirit.
chat for $2.99. Jeffrey wants to know, are you doing another review stream soon?
Yes, I'll have a review stream within 2 weeks. I need to talk to
You talked to Robert Marzullo and then you slept through his phone call. You
Yeah.
talked to him since then?
No, and yeah.
That's shameful.
Yeah. Well, I emailed and we talked.
Okay.
So no, it's okay.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah. But yes, within 2 weeks we'll definitely be doing a review stream coming up.
And Jim Klein has a super chat for $5. Do the big companies use specific dimensions for bleeds, trims, and live areas? And if so, what are they? Is there wiggle room? I never could find them.
They do, yes. And I think that if you're working digitally, they actually have a template now.
They do.
Right. So they do. Now, this is scrapboard paper. Here's what I can tell you. I've actually worked on paper that's slightly different than their standard, and I know that it's caused headaches for them, but they can make it work. This one's it's fine. Stratford has been fine for both Marvel and DC. I've never had any trouble with it, so I know that this paper is the right dimensions. I'm totally not giving you a proper answer though, and I apologize because I don't know. You want here? I'm gonna find out. Very good.
I probably have Dave. Okay. Well, hold on. La-di-da.
Okay. This is the inner side.
Dave's going to measure. That could be cool.
Okay, so the bleed area, this is the part that gets cut off, is 1/4 of an inch exactly, and then the panel. This is what this inner line is where you line up your panels. You never want to put a panel border outside that line because this. So this is where you line up your panel borders. If you line up a panel border outside this line, it has the potential to get cut off and look bad. You never want to do that, and editors will definitely point that out if you do it. And then this is just where you draw to, so when it gets cut here, they have something to cut. So the inner part is, I don't know how to do inches, so
1/2 inch,
it's,
1/4
This
inch,
is 1/4 of an inch, and then halfway to another 1/4 of an inch. What would that be?
1/8.
It goes quarters and then eighths and then sixteenths.
Okay, whatever.
So count your little ticks. How many ticks are there?
Okay, so there's 1/4 of an inch here, and then 2 more ticks.
And that's.
So that's 3/8.
It's eighths. So it
So
would be
1/4
6
inch,
eighths.
and then
There you go.
Maybe.
No idea.
I know. We were raised on the metric system, people.
And then
We don't do this imperial stuff.
imperial.
the whole thing is supposed to be basically 10.5, but it's not. The whole thing here, I'm measuring it. It's 10, basically 10 1/4. And then the inner part is 9 inches exactly.
Do you know why I know that? Is from building the chicken coop with my
Yeah, no,
dad.
yeah, you do measurements for construction.
Yeah.
I don't measure that way. I pretty much every single time I use little fine sheets because I don't like measuring.
Yeah, I learned a lot building that chicken coop with my dad. Like a lot. Alright, Eric Pochat has a super chat for $10. Eric says, Happy Monday, Finch family. Enjoy the break. The flock will miss you. And hey, feel free to reach out if you ever have ZBrush questions. I'm no Finch of ZBrush, but it is my job. Happy to help, and cheers.
Yes.
You just
I have questions.
$10.
I know, you so did. I'm pumped. Okay, I'm missing it. Tell me, baby.
Eric? No, I don't want to do it now. Eric Pochat.
Okay.
It's trouble now.
It is. I don't know how to reach you, Eric. What do I reach Eric? What should I do?
You should do nothing. You don't have time to be taking on learning a whole nother thing.
But I'm gonna do it.
No, you're doing
I'm
it.
doing
I
it.
stop you now. Refresh your head. Fresh.
I'm definitely gonna do it.
I know.
Okay.
No.
You can DM me on Instagram.
No. I'm laying down the law. No. I can't take it. You can't. almost done, and then you can play with some brush.
Okay, Eric, 6 months.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. 6 months. You know what?
Ha.
I have to admit, I was telling Eric today, with painting, like I really enjoyed painting.
Okay.
And I really didn't want to
Finished
paint.
my tea.
I was just
Now I'm back to dual wielding. Let's go.
not feeling motivated. You know what I mean? And so I
Let's
said, "Man," and he said, "Oh, what do you
go.
want to do with it?" I said, "No, you don't understand. Like, it's great that we're doing this because it's actually getting me, and this is why I managed to make comics work. I had no choice. This is just what I did. So when it wasn't working, and it was tough, and I struggled with my last painting. I did painting of He-Man. It was hard, and so yeah, I just kind of burnt myself out. But um, yeah, I'm so glad we did it, and it's keeping me going. So working with somebody that like, and Eric is like the greatest for. He sent me an aerial. By the way, I don't think I've mentioned it a little bit. Ariel Olivetti has an incredible course on acrylics. He also has a course on watercolor, something that I don't do, but the skills are so similar. You can still get so much out of it if you want to do acrylics, or if you want to do watercolor. Obviously, it's great for that. It's on Domestica. Maybe Eric can put up a link. That would be great to Eric. And he is not only a wonderful guy, a wonderful teacher. It's in Spanish, so but it's all translated. So um, it's really worth it. Both Eric and I bought it. I've watched it like 5 or 6 times, and so much of what we're doing with painting is from that. And I'm like, I gotta tell you, I'm at a point now where I wish I could like make requests. Show me how to do this now, you know? Like, okay, I got this part, and kind of, but I see him do things that I just don't understand still, and I wish I could say, okay, how about this? But I'm sure he'll have more stuff. Anyway, yeah, Eric sent me the link for the watercolor stuff, so I went and saw that, and he's great with just finding different techniques and different paper. He's experimenting with heavy body acrylic. I'm still using the soft body, so I think I want to try it. I've had a lot of success with it.
Cat's here. All right.
By the way, we missed.
Eve. Oh, it's 9:06. All right, hold on. You'd miss it if I didn't sing along.
Yeah, we all.
I'm
learning how to draw since asking about the message. I think I could. That would actually, you know what? I never asked you. And Sheldon Martin says, I got a watercolor course on the message.
You can't do this because I've got super chats.
Oh. And Tom Teacher said, I think all of that is doing live courses if I saw his Instagram. The problem is it's in Spanish. Live is hard for me. Okay, so this is my book of the week. This is a sketchbook from Vanilla U. I actually bought it from Vanilla U years ago. So how you would ever find this, I don't know. And so I'm kind of bragging that I have this right now. I'm sure you can find it somewhere, hopefully. But it's an incredible one. I mean, you can see like he's an amazing artist. He's actually, I think, I want to say, he's a year younger than me. And it's always painful when younger artists kicking your butt. He has been his whole career. So yeah, just incredible stuff. And he actually has done some watercolor stuff that's really beautiful. And then it's kind of sprinkled through here. So I did Ultimate X-Men, and he did some covers around that time. I think this might have been just after my run that he did this cover, but yeah, beautiful Ultimate X-Men cover. And here's a Black Panther. I can't remember the name. But anyway, beautiful. And some more watercolor stuff, really nice. This stuff is beyond me because you really need to get that bone working right away. You can't fix it in the way that you can with acrylics. So I always respect it when people do this. Some character design sketches, and just his confidence with a pencil is always amazing for me to see. And so this right here is actually what I'm copying today. Now, and you can kind of see I've got a similar sort of a layout going. I didn't really copy it, but I definitely took inspiration from it, which I do all the time, you know. And I recommend you do too. You don't want to just copy somebody, obviously, but taking inspiration from somebody's layout and taking things from it is how you get better. And when I brought this up for Book of the Week, I was looking through it. I haven't looked at this book for so long, and so I thought, you know what, it'd be cool to do something based on things on here. And that is such an amazing looking tree, and you know, a whole lot nicer than what I'm doing here. So, anyway, we'll move on. Don't stop me. So yeah, some more Hulk covers, beautiful. I mean, look at that. A lot of what I do with knuckles, like this kind of detail here, I got from Neil, and he has a tendency to put a vein through the deltoid right here, just like that. And I do it all the time too. And again, this is totally where I got it. I love how he does these kinds of hands, and I remember kind of using that hand a few times. Just thought it was really great. And here, actually, I would say this picture specifically, the way that he did these knuckles is just bananas. So definitely a big influence for me. Very cool looking sketches. This is the other stuff that I really wanted to show. I love his Fantastic Four. It's incredible. And his thing especially is so amazing. And every time I've ever drawn the thing, this is what I'm trying to make him look like. And it's never come remotely close. Unfortunately, you know, I've done the thing here and there.
Yeah, it does look pretty fucking awesome.
Look at this. I mean, it's truly beautiful stuff. So, and it's it's great to see his pencils without color or anything over top of it. Yeah, some beautiful stuff. Also, you get some layups in here, and I always think it's very helpful to see how an artist breaks down the figures at a small size. And it's a bit of a shorter book, so I can kind of show the whole thing. Awesome looking commissioner. That's it. That's with Captain America. So there you go. This is my Lineal U sketchbook. One of my favorite sketchbooks, and I've had this for years, and I look at it all the time. It's been a long time, however, and my favorites. There you go. Truly insufferable.
That's why I love you. Hey, I need to have fun too. And those times I always have the most fun.
I feel like, to be honest, I've been probably poking you more tonight than the other way around, so I guess I can't complain.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah? You're in a good mood then.
Apparently so. Dinner really revived me. Dinner and a shower.
We've had live streams. Should I say this? I'm just gonna say it. We've had live streams where like somebody says something and then we don't say a word through the whole live stream, and then at the end of it we're fighting. It's happened.
Nah.
Not terrible. I mean, it's not like the end of the world, but
That's mostly you.
yeah, it's always me.
It's you just try. You just yeah. No, it's fine. All right, Evil One. Missed Ascension when it came out. Going to read me some over your break and study your YouTube videos. What happened to your old art interiors that you did?
Old art interiors.
Interiors from like Ascension and F-89 and...
You mean like the originals?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I didn't really sell a lot of original art back then. And
You gave it away in like bunches.
yeah, pretty much. I don't have any of it. I gave away a bunch of it. Top Cow had a double page spread, one of the covers, up in the office, and somebody just walked away with it. What else? I was 28 years old. I moved back to Windsor from Top Cow, and I was very unmotivated. I mean, look, I'm sure I think guys can relate, but I wish I could say that it's been like a smooth career, and I'm always dedicated and on the ball, and I really wasn't, and I just wasn't working. I mean, I had a job that I was supposed to be doing. I was actually working on After 99 at the time, and I just really kind of just didn't want to work. I wasn't feeling motivated, and so I wasn't making money. And so I sold all of the artwork that I had from Top Cow all in one big lump, here, take it, to somebody for very little, to an art dealer. So that's what happened with the rest of it. And yeah, there are a couple of things that I did financially around that time. Selling the rights to some things, and just basically, I just wasn't taking it seriously. And that's a big reason why I went to Marvel. Now, it wasn't Top Cow's fault, but when I went to Marvel, I knew I could not get away with um, missing deadlines and being lazy. They won't put up with that long. You end up out the door. And so it really motivated me to get off my butt and actually start working. So I got to Marvel, and it really changed my career. And I'm so grateful to Marvel for trusting me enough to give me that chance after I had really put Top Hat through the ringer trying to get work out of me. So, uh, but yes, that's what happened. That's what happened to all that original art.
So sad. That's such a sad story. It's fine. Somebody.
It's not a sad story though, because the art's out there, and I see it sometimes. Actually, I go to conventions. I just did last year. Well, not last year, but very recently, and somebody came and got a Dunkley Fred from Ascension signed, and it makes me very happy to see that it's find a good home. And I mean, I don't really look. It's not like I'm going, oh, I didn't make enough money from that. I'm doing fine. I'm just glad that it's you know somebody has it, and it's hopefully having fun as well. Ideally, I can't tell you how happy it makes me when I sell artwork. Because this will happen. Um, People email for art sometimes, because I've got an art dealer. They email them directly, and we send them to the art dealer because that's who sells my art generally. I mean, sometimes we affiliate with, but and then I'll get an email and they'll send a picture of the artwork on the wall, and it makes me very, very happy. Always really great to see.
That's such a sad thing. All right. Next super chat comes from Christine for $5. Chris says the Dave Finch art book will definitely be getting my support. I'm definitely glad that I subscribed to this channel. Enjoy your family time.
Oh, thank you very much, Christine. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Michaela Fernandez says, book of the week time. Sing it, Meredith. See, people enjoy it.
There you go.
Three.
People seem to like it.
I don't know why. Who knows?
It wasn't even so much that I liked you when we got married. It was just that you tolerated me.
Well, you liked me.
Of course I did.
All right. You liked it because I had my grandmother's teacups.
You know what? That's the capper. Things were going great up to that point. But yeah, that's why I was like, wow, look at that. She reminds me of my grandmother.
Daniel Combs has a super chat for $19.99. Dana says, hi there. Looking for advice for someone who's had a long lapse in drawing. In high school, I was highly regarded. Now, 20 years later, I'm having a hard time getting back to where I was back then, let alone moving forward.
Yeah, and this is, look, it's so common. Life gets in the way. It does. And it is hard to get to where you were because so much of it's muscle memory. And that's really all it is. And you really need to bear in mind that when you were drawing before, you had so much stuff stored in your head and a library of ideas and techniques that you could use, and you've lost that. But you have not lost the talent. And there's so much better information out there to really, really learn and hone your craft. And my bet, and I feel very confident about this, within a year, you will be able to look at the work you did when you were younger, and it will pale in comparison to what you could do now. So yeah, it's just a matter of taking the time, and so you draw heads and draw 100 of them, and fill sketchbooks, and just get that muscle memory and that comfort back. Study different artists, and it will come back, and it will come back better than it did when you were younger, because you have an advantage right now that you can't let slip away, and that is that you can do this for. I think with people having you're just okay.
Stretching. All right. Witchfire YT as a super chat for $6.99. Witchfire says E.
I'm gonna zoom in a
I
little
don't know
bit.
what that
Sort of a
means.
smaller figure. I'm going a little thick with it. I'm sorry, man. He says what?
E.
E.
Letter E. That's all he says. I don't know. Maybe he is.
Witchfire.
Witchfire, if you have a super chat,
If there's more to add to that E,
let me know.
but thank you.
And behind Mucho 315 as a super chat for $4.99. Still waiting for a new Dave Finch sketchbook. Never got one back during image days. I've also, you know what I haven't done? I haven't mailed out anything from last week's.
Really? Yeah.
It'll go out this week.
Okay.
Last week was not possible for me to do anything. I didn't even ride my horses. I didn't even see my horses last week.
I know. Well, with your
It was
parents'
insane.
anniversary, that was a big deal.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this weekend.
It'll go out this week.
Yeah.
People know they'll get their stuff. We haven't done a live stream yet where people didn't get their stuff.
Oh, of course.
So
Try to be pretty on top of it.
we do. Daniel Castellian, super chat. For $4.99, Daniel says, have you seen Jeff Miracola's painting instructional? He has your teaching style. I think you'd enjoy it.
Are you kidding? Yeah, I have it on my hard drive. I bought it when it came out. There's nothing that Jeff Miracola does that I don't buy as soon as possible, like right away. And I've watched every single one of his YouTube videos. I know I mentioned him on here before, but he is not only an incredible artist and an incredible teacher. And thank you for the comparison. I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you to say. But I just, seems like the kind of guy you'd like to hang out with. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I've never met him, but I feel like I know him, and I think he's so yeah, really recommend you check out his channel. Great information.
Alright, Greg L. Static Art has a super chat for $5. Hey, Dino! Can't believe. Can't believe there'll be no streams for a while. Hope you enjoy your break. You guys are instrumental to us. Also, no Kratos?
That's what I was gonna do. Sorry, Greg. September, and I'll make it nice. Yeah, you know what? I need to write this stuff down. Because Meredith writes it down, it goes into a round file, I swear.
It's in my computer. I can pull it up right now.
Yeah, you know what? I should. It's my fault because I'm down here on Mondays. You're out with the horses. I'm draw. And I was talking to Eric. I said, I'm going to draw. And he started throwing out ideas, and I left Superman. And so then I said, well, what about a villain? And I think I came up with Rod. Maybe you did. I can't remember. But,
Like Mutt and Jeff together.
yeah.
Glitch Fire YT has a super chat for $2.79. Hello, your art is the best.
Thank you very, very much.
Oh, and Henry Jermick wants to know where to get the book. We will, when we do the art, the best of Monday Night Draw with Meredith and Dave, Volume 1, we will let you guys know where to, it's not going to come out before September, first of all. That's probably not going to happen. But we will make sure that you guys, in the community section of the YouTube channel, on my Facebook page, on Twitter, on Instagram, we'll post how you get a copy. It won't be done and stuff because
No, it can't be.
no.
No, and I'll tell you why. It's got copyrighted characters, and both Marvel and DC are very forgiving when it comes to that, but they certainly don't want you publishing their characters and soliciting it through Diamond and competing directly with them with their copyright. That's just, that's like saying thank you for your generosity. That would be representing it. That would be bad.
We will do that.
Because really, they are fully within the right if they just say, you know what, can't do that. Sorry. But I mean, just a scam.
I'm scrolling through the chat trying to see sometimes things catch my eye in the chat. I just want to make sure.
I wasn't filming.
Jeff Wheeler says I used to have a friend whose mom worked for Charles Schultz Animation, and she gave away hand painted cells for Halloween. I wish I still had mine.
Yeah, I think people just don't know the value of that stuff. I don't know what that would be worth now, but I mean, it'd be a fortune.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, when I was working at Marvel, um, 'cause I was exclusive with Marvel from 2001 through 2010, and um, that was a big period for Marvel. I mean, I did Avengers Disassembled and then New Avengers, and a lot of that really led into what they're doing with movies right now. Um, Winter Soldier was right around that time. Civil War was the crossover directly after that came out for Avengers, right after we did the launch. So so much of the stuff that was really iconic for all the Marvel movies was that period. So just to be a part of it, and I wish I could say, oh, I was instrumental in that stuff. Look, I drew the pictures. I had to interpret the scripts. Like, as the artist, you have a responsibility, and you have a big role. Like, it can't be understated. Well, it can be understated compared to, um, you know, when it comes to a movie and that kind of entertainment. Really, the writing is far more influential. So yeah, I always hesitate to take too much credit for any of that because it's the writing. But the writing wouldn't have mattered if nobody wanted to pick up the book, and that's where really the art ideally is essential.
Cool. Atomic Art says, I'm really enjoying this. Thank you for everything, David. My brother actually has a drawing I made from during Comic Con 2013 on the wall. Hopefully one day I will take it. And then he says, sorry. Take it. Take it, Atomic. Take it.
Oh, you know what, Atomic?
I can't say that because that's stealing, and I don't want to tell people to steal.
Hopefully, I'll see you at a convention very soon. I am really looking forward to conventions this time because like so many of you guys, I'm sure go to shows and I do them all over the place. So meeting people from the YouTube channels would be yes. There are quite a few people that I feel like I've gotten to know from conventions over the years. Um, like Lance Lenoy, I've had a chance to talk to Lance actually quite a bit at a few different shows. So I feel like I really know Lance, and well, I do. I don't just feel like I know him, I think I know him. But most of you, uh, I met through the stream, so it'd be really great to actually see you guys. And somebody, yeah, I apologize, I can't remember who it was, but somebody mentioned the idea of doing a draw on the convention, and I really would like to do that. So that's something that I'm going to talk to my convention too about.
Oh, yeah, at a convention.
Yeah,
Roy Della Cruz has a super chat for $1.99. Roy says, when will your fight sequence tutorial come out? Or fight scene tutorial come out?
coming. I forgot about that one. Okay, I'm ready.
And Claudio Robojan has a super chat for $5. Hello, just want to say I'm loving your tutorials lately, David. I'm currently kind of stuck at drawing, but I'm slowly improving, so thank you.
Thank you so much. That's how it goes. Hopefully, I remember what it was like my first day at Top Cow, and I'm looking at not only artists like Travis Press, who is already a huge fan of, and Jeff Campbell, J. Scott Campbell, and Joe Benitez, and Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, all the artists that were there, and just being deeply humbled, but also deeply humbled by artists that were there that were just starting that I hadn't even heard of. They didn't even have anything published yet, and they're sitting there just kicking my butt. It was very hard. So uh, yeah, you just stick with it and put in the work and be methodical about it and forgiving of your limitations because we all have them, and certainly be able to do it.
I think this is in the nights, and somebody just said, "Who just like this vid?" Her day out wall says, "Who just like this vid?" For me to say, like and subscribe. It still matters. We need you guys to like the video, and if you aren't already, subscribe to the channel. And that way, you'll know when the vacation's over and we're back in September.
I kind of think that pretty much, for the most part, people that watch live stream are subscribed. You know?
I've seen people who said, "This is my first stream tonight."
Oh, yeah.
So people are still finding you.
Yeah.
People are still new. Maybe they just liked. Maybe they haven't thought about subscribing. It's important. It matters. Every little bit helps. Because then you push us that much closer to the 200,000 subscribers away. Which I'm going to guess will be sometime in the next 365 days.
Someone told me when we get 200,000 subscribers, I get a free McLaren.
A free what?
McLaren.
What's a McLaren?
It's like a luxury car, sports car.
Oh, you do? Who's buying that?
But I think they just give you one.
Oh, you think so? I'm sure that's going to work that way. Somebody told me that when you hit 200,000 subscribers, I get a free horse. Is that how that works?
That sounds like too much reality.
Yeah. This summer, see, Dave needs to take a break so he can learn how to muck stalls. So he'll be a stall mucker extraordinaire when we get back in September.
Yep, I have learned this week how to take down and put up the electric fence, which happens. So what we do?
Tell him like it is, Dave.
Okay,
Talk
so
about the farm. Tell him what you learned.
They're in paddock, which is just where they hang out, and then half the paddock is all field, and so half of it,
Half gravel, half grass.
right, and they go out in the grass and they eat the grass for half the day, but you can't leave them out there all day. So we have an electric fence between the two. Oh, I don't want to use them all the time, so it's not cool. But anyway, so I had to figure out how to do that because Meredith's not always home, and I don't want to just not give them their grass time. So I'm gonna do that one. And so I'm getting there, and so I'll have to learn how to deal with the stalls. And
He's sick.
not just when you're sick, you're gone for some weekends, and so it's I'll have to learn it. And you know what?
I'm gonna teach Isaac. I'm gonna make him do it this summer
I've
too.
been complaining about this place, and I don't want to be a farmer, and I don't. At the same time, though, I love it out here, and I love going outside. It's beautiful out here. So
You helped me with the chicken coop this weekend. Farmer Finch, says Kevin Mandela. You helped me with the chicken coop. You helped me put all the hardware cloth on.
Yep.
The big staple gun.
Yeah, it's chicken wire.
It's not chicken
I know
wire.
it's not chicken wire, but it's chicken.
It's not chicken wire.
I know.
People think when people.
Apparently, you can't use chicken wire because
It's not strong enough.
Right. So it's called hardware cloth, which is the dumbest thing on the face.
I don't know why they call it hardware cloth.
Whatever. If you ever look at it, you go, "Hey, that's chicken wire."
It's not chicken wire. It's.
You see what I'm saying, though, right? Like anybody that a reasonable person would just.
It's metal mesh.
You put it on.
I think it's 12 gauge metal mesh.
Oh, good. That's neat.
Things
We expect.
inquiring minds want to know. All right, I'm neglecting the chat. And maybe a super chat. For Claudio's next one is Grigel Sadekar. And somebody else did say this is the first. Madison Hughes said this is the first stream I've caught live.
Hey, there you go.
So there you go. Time Crafter said I subscribed a month ago, but I always miss the streams. I'm glad I'm here. So
Good to have you here.
it's important. It's important. And John C., this is not the last stream until September. We're gonna have one more stream. Next week will be the last stream, and then we'll take off the summer. All right. And Kevin Mandeville wants to know how many horses does one woman need, Meredith? It brings to mind the song from The Greatest Showman, Never Enough.
Never
That's not true. Actually, 4 is more than enough.
Yeah.
I do not need more than 4.
Yeah, there's.
I don't have enough time in the day for more than 4.
No. I mean, they're great,
I love them all.
And so we have 2 here. We got a tiny little one called Stevie,
The little mini pony.
tiny. And
2
we
inches
have,
bigger than the dog.
we have Dipper, who's named after a character from Steven Universe, because our son was watching Steven Universe.
Not Steven Universe.
Whatever, a cartoon.
Yeah, but not Steven Universe. I can't remember what it's called.
A cartoon. And yeah, I go out there and he runs up, they like me.
They do. They're very good at giving you feedback.
I'd say it's because I don't beat them, but I mean they're enormous. I would be very afraid to beat a horse. It would beat me back.
Well, it's important to stand your territory. Like, create your own space. I would say. Otherwise, they will stand over you.
You know what? They're very nice.
They are.
I think you have more.
I do. Because I'm not. No, I won't say I'm not afraid of people. Horses and kids, man.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, really, look at me. Like, I could slap him, and he'd be like, "What fly just bit me?" Greg L. Static Art has a super chat for $2. Greg wants to know, how did you draw the hands and the raised leg here?
Okay. So, I'm gonna draw this hand and then this one, and then we'll do that. So, I've got the arm coming out. I want to make sure that we're. So I've got the arm coming out. This is my wrist here, and I want to make sure with my hand, you can see that I can. If I tilt my hand inward, then it goes flat.
Gravity falls.
Good, thank you. But if I just keep it at a more of a neutral position, it comes out this way. So I want to make sure not to just be flat here. So I come out just a bit. My knuckles, I want to round. I don't want to go straight across. And then my thumb is going to come out here. And so my fingers are going to take this kind of a path here. And this, so this plane goes like this plane goes like this. And then my thumb comes in along the side like this. And so, sorry, clean this up a little bit. And so, yeah, I've got this bone here, which unfortunately you can't really see on my arm right now. No comments, Meredith. But it's right there.
I just need like.
Yeah. Okay, alright. Thank you. Like I said.
I made no comment.
But, and I cut this in and then the hand behind it. And that's not what I want because it actually flattens it out. I want to make sure that this comes out in front and then this behind. And I want to do that because if I want something to come forward, when you cross over, it always puts this in front of this in front of this. So, it's easy to break that illusion. So I want to do that and then connect it with this. And so my knuckles, I'm going to put my middle knuckle here, this knuckle here, and just like this. So there's a finger. I like to give my fingers a bit of a shape instead of just being like a fur. So and you can see with my fingers, it's a bit of a, that's not just a flat line down, it's got a bit of shape to it. And so get that shape, lost my pinky there, get that in there. And so there's my fingers, my knuckles, sit like this. And there's basically that hand right there. Now the other hand, it's the same thing, it's just tilted. And so I've got my wrist coming out this way. And then the back of my hand this way. Again, I'm curving my knuckles. And I've got that bone up here. So there's the hand. My thumb is going to come off like this, off the side, if it were like just a wedge shape. And so I've got my fingers here, here's one, I want to make sure that knuckle's pronounced, my other knuckle's pronounced, I always raise them up, just like better. And then my thumb actually right here. And so that's basically the construction. Just like that. And for the leg, I'm going to draw my pelvis first. So for my pelvis, for this example here, now I feel like I'm just recording a tutorial. I'm just drawing like underwear, It's a really easy way to go. And because I've got this leg lifted, it's going to come up into here. So sides of your underwear are a really good place to draw your hip bone, which connects just about here. And so I went out, and now I don't normally draw the hip bone. I've done it enough, but I can connect my leg out to it just because I know where it goes. And so this leg here, I want to lift because it's coming up, so it's going to lift from where you can see this leg attaches. And then I'm going to draw it like a tube, and it's wider at the back than it is in the front, and it has some shape to it, just about like this. And that's because your leg has this kind of a shape to it. So for shorten, I just make that angle a little bit more extreme and it works. And then I've got a circle here, and so these muscles, this muscle here, when they're flat, this muscle sits lower than this one, and they round around the leg. You don't really see it there, but here you really do. So if I draw a circle here, I can round this. I'm almost done. What are you stopping your fingers for? You totally. Okay. So I'm gonna draw this tendon here. So this muscle is gonna connect in here, and at the end, it's gonna wrap around that circle. The back one I want to be higher, and so it's gonna connect here, and then I've got my center muscle here, basically like that. And then my knee, so for my knee, I've got a shortened tube. I really recommend Rosetta for these kinds of knees. So here's my muscles on there, and then my knee comes out as a tube that then connects down like this for the lower leg. And so I can just shadow that out, which I did, and I always do because that's how Rosetta did it, and if Rosetta did it, then that's the way it's done. And then the bottom part of the leg, I really wanted to shorten, so I just drew it the pretty flattened. If I drew it as just a circle, it would look odd, but if I draw it flattened, it kind of works. And the bottom of your leg, so here's my knee. Your shin bone has a bit of a curve to it like this. And here's your inner muscle. I'm almost done. Okay, so I'm embarrassed to get upset. So
I'm not getting upset, but
so I'm gonna give that.
this is a tutorial.
I'm gonna give that a curve here. Make sure to get that shape in
We're
there.
not gonna get your Superman finished before Mary has to go to bed.
And there you go. There's the leg.
All right. I mean, like you just got a little too. That was a little too much. I mean, I'm sure Greg really appreciated it. That might have like you get into it and it just like.
Greg's been here for a while.
I
So
know.
if I'm gonna do an example for Greg, it's been like last week.
You can't have special children.
Greg's been here for a while.
We love them all the same. Each candle, each child brings his own love. They're all like candles. A Singh has a super chat from $9.99. A says, awesome drawing. Turning out great so far. I have one question though. I know you like to hide feet. But
Yeah.
I'm having a problem drawing them. They end up looking like logs.
Okay.
And no Matthew Fuentes, we have not yet named the farm.
No, we haven't.
And Dave has not yet got his 100K block.
No. Okay, so I think you have to actually ask for it or something. And I don't know what I would do with it. So, okay, so feet. I'll make this quick. Now, from the side, here's your basic foot shape. Just a wedge. Just like this. And then your toes are kind of separated like this. And you can actually also separate your heel out like that. And it's good to separate them out because that's really where your bending in your foot is. And your ankle, when I draw feet, I tend to like drawing almost like a ball joint here, like as if it was a toy. I don't know why. Okay, I think I do know why. I looked at the toy once and I liked it, and I liked that construction, so I do that all the time. Anyway, so that's for the side. Now, by the way, I really recommend you look at. It would help if I could remember names. I'm not even gonna try. All right. So from the front, I've got this shape here, and here it is, and then this shape here is just going to be like this, and then the back is going to be like that, and you know, give it a little bit of, put a bit of an arch, and then my leg is going to attach. Here's my little ball as if it was a toy, which I like toy. And so there you go. That's a basic foot from the side. And just learning how to separated out into forms that have and feet are easier than hands because they don't have so much movement. So yeah, I need to do a proper foot tutorial. And I know you're all thinking, well, really, I'm gonna do a foot tutorial with what? But I can draw feet sometimes.
O Rise Above O says, I use hardware cloth to keep my cats fenced in.
See, there you go. You're right. Hardware cloth is an actual thing.
Yep. And gravity falls, dippers and gravity falls.
Gravity falls. Yeah, that actually. And I think you weren't letting him watch Steven Universe or something.
No, I did. I watched that thing over and over again. Did he? Is that the one with the rainbows and the? I don't know. Pretty sure. Your sister liked it.
I don't know.
Joe Tolliver. We're such bad parents. We don't even know what our kids watch it. Joe Tolliver has a super chat for $4.99. Joe says, "How are you so bad at this art thing? I can't believe people think you're an elite artist. Not a huge fan." Wait, what? No, that's the other guy. Joe's a huge fan. Thank you for the super chat, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Enrique says that twisted cape is so cool.
Thank you, Enrique. I was really thinking, wow, this is maybe a mistake for me to do this. I love drawing these kinds of things. I'd be lying if I said I'm the best at it. So there are times, and this is where drawing with a pencil can be nice. I can do this 5 times, and when it does work, I'm great. Yeah, live, if it doesn't work, it does not work.
Mario Rogoje has a super chat for $5. Random question, but what's the Canadian Badlands like? Heard it looks like the Wild West out there. Just thought of it as you mentioned farms.
Well, when I think of the Canadian Badlands,
Drumheller.
yeah, it's Alberta. So just imagine an endless plain where you could basically see through to Antarctica.
You can see the horizon as far as it goes.
Yeah.
It's like it's the plains. It's prairies.
It's
Just
beautiful.
prairie.
I mean,
It is.
I
It's
like
beautiful.
trees, but it is.
Not a lot of trees, but it's beautiful.
We went to Drumheller a few years ago. All the dinosaur movies.
We enjoyed it more than the kids.
Yes, we did. Yeah, kids. I don't know. I didn't enjoy that kind of thing when I was a kid, so I can't judge. I thought it was great.
How many things do parents do that they enjoy just thinking their kids will like and the kids don't?
It's not so much that you think that they'll like it. You know they won't. It's just that it's like your obligation as a parent to try and raise them at least somewhat.
My kids chased me out of Chicago Shed Aquarium. They like harangued me the entire time we were there for a convention. It was like, when are we gonna go?
And meanwhile, I was thinking, I'm so glad I have to give the show right now.
Yeah. Rogue, that was a long time ago. Rogue Persona is a super chat for £4.99. Rogue says, just take it.
Yes, thank you, buddy. Very much appreciated.
Jordan Seaward says, I went on my first vacation and the next year the world shut down. Jordan, don't you jinx us.
Hey, you got this vacation in though.
That's right.
So there you go. The world waited to shut down for Jordan, and we'll appreciate that we got that extra year. Thanks to Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan. Don't give your address out because we'll start sending hate mail. Just kidding. He's Canadian. Jim Klein has a super chat for $10. Any recommendations for us on books on the more technical aspects of comic creation? I'm a big fan of Scott McCloud's book, Making Comics. Anything along those lines would be appreciated.
Okay.
For the super chat.
And yes, thank you. Okay. No. And that's because, for my part, I find books like that extraordinarily confusing. When things really get intellectual, I think that, I know for me, yeah, I get lost. Now, I think the Scott McCloud book is really great, and I learned some things from it, so I don't want to just go, no. And you know what? Maybe I should really hold my tongue too, just because I learned something from that, and I've ignored other books that I probably would have learned something from. But I have actually seen books where I just put an I'm really gonna, I don't even know the kind of measurement and ridiculous accuracy. Hey, that's admirable, but now do that to a schedule. Good luck. You know, like make that something that you're putting on page 10. It's not possible. So I like to my philosophy and the philosophy for my channel and the way that I'm trying to teach here and the way that I learned is to take complex ideas and complex things that go into drawing, and they can be a little complex, and make them as simple and easy to understand as possible, and to try to not be. Look, I think sometimes things can get artsy fartsy. When you want to paint, you don't need to make your own paint.
Did you
You can.
just say artsy fartsy?
That's the.
To a community of artists? You
Okay,
said
stop.
artsy fartsy?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I say
believe-
artsy fartsy.
Yeah, some people make things needlessly complex, and they drive me crazy. I want it to be simple, and so no, I don't get technical, and I don't have any. I don't connect with that kind of thing. So yeah,
What he's saying is he's not artsy fartsy.
well, I've never found a use for it. If you ask Jim Lee how he does something, he's not getting technical, and he will show you because he knows what he's talking about. I think a lot of the technical stuff happens because people don't know.
Jim should be offended. He just said Jim is not artsy fartsy.
Yeah.
Just going around offending people all day long. All right. Thankfully, John C has a super chat to save you for $4.99. John says, "Thank you, David Meredith. Thanks for all the consistent weekly content, and thanks for carrying this whole sketchbook community through this last year."
Thank you very much. Yeah, and thank you for carrying us through this year too. I mean,
It's been a mutual, caring
yeah.
society.
Well, in a time where I've talked to some professionals, and it's not like I've been completely isolated, but for the most part, like so many people I haven't seen or talked to. Uh, like Steve Orlando, we'd have dinner with him. I never see him now, and I haven't talked to him. So yeah, it's really great to have this connection with you guys, and kind of keeping us all safe. And Meredith, I think I'm done because
Really?
yeah, the next speaker
Oh
is
no,
coming
I
out
still
broad.
got some super chats.
Okay, I'll finish
Okay.
really broad stand before I do that.
So, hold on, make sure I get the right ones. Greg Ellis, Static Art for $2. Sorry, I didn't think it'd be long. The instrumental.
Thank you, Greg. And you know what? It's my pleasure. Don't even worry about it. Just ignore Meredith
Dave does all the time.
all the time. It's the only way you can.
All the time. All the time. Sheldon Martin has a super chat for $14.99. Hey, Finch fam! Dave, do you have an artist edition of your own? If you do, I can't find it. And thanks, Meredith, for all the nights you stay up a little extra with us. You're welcome. Only because I love you guys.
Yeah. And I don't. Well, I sort of do. There's a Top Cow one. Art of David Finch from Top Cow. And there's Batman Unwrapped from DC. That's about it, though, as far as like an artist edition goes. So, no, not really.
Ian Shea has a super chat for $4.99. Ian wants to know if you have any tips on inking black objects on a Venom suit. I always get lost.
You know what? Since I'm kind of done, by the way, next week's going to take up less than an hour. It'll be a good way to go out. Maybe you can go to bed when you're done. Just finish it. We can all hang out, like 5 of us.
Yeah.
By the time I finish. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this way, and I'm gonna turn this over. You know what? I'll do it from back here. Okay. So, and I've kind of done this before, but let's do this a little more in depth. It's 9:53. It's not even 10 o'clock. We got a little bit of time.
You got 7 minutes.
All right. That's plenty of time.
Russ Hicks has a super chat for $5. Russ says, "Have a great vacation, much deserved. We will be here when you get back."
Thank you so much, Russ. Really appreciate it.
Russ, Tomic's heading out. Tom's got to go to bed. He's got school the next day.
Okay.
Maybe Tomic is done school for the summer. Nielsen Bogart says, "Yes, the Top Cow one is amazing." sound. So while you're doing that, you're welcome because I realized it was really loud and I connected it at the end.
Alright. So here's my arm. Let me tighten up this a little bit so it's a little less confusing. This is where doing the tutorials, I can just speed stuff up so you're not watching me take forever getting this sketched in. Can't do that live. Okay, so there's my basic body with an arm kind of sketched in. I'm going to go ahead and light this from here. And so, and you guys know this, I'm just going to do it anyway. If I have a sphere, it's like from here, that side's going to be shadowed. So that's the basic philosophy behind what we're doing. So I'm just going to shadow that, just like that. And it's got some, it's your deltoid is street muscles. You know, anyway, so there you go. And I'm going to catch some shadow in here. I'm going to catch some shadow from the arm. Let me just fill that in. Shadow into the chest here. Here. Some striations of muscles here. Under the rib cage, and I'm just going to go dark. And underneath the bicep. The tricep kind of rounds here. I don't want to pop it too far forward. And then there's a central muscle that has a name. This is where Robert Russo is so great because he knows all these names and I don't. But there it is. And then you got your big thumb extensor. That's this big muscle mass here. And your finger extensors come out here. And so that's basically just lighting. And by the way, if I have a tube, my shadow would be on the bottom. And if I was to draw this, and it's got different muscles on it, and I drew, like, I've got a muscle here, a muscle here, a muscle here. If I drew all of these exactly the same thickness, it looks like I'm just drawing like a flat plane with some bumps on it. What I want to do is draw a circle, and so as it rounds around that circle, the shadow pulls up here. And so any muscle that's here, they're very small lumps on the surface, so you only see a tiny little bit. And so I want to be thicker down here, and then really thin out as I go up around that curve. The exception is this one, just because this one pops out more, so that's why it's bigger. Okay, so there is a basic arm done just with a single light source. This is not like Venom though, and the difference when it comes to character like Venom is with my light coming from.
Took so long to get there, I couldn't remember what you were doing for me.
We got time, and it's only 9:57. Okay, so my light's coming from here, which means that it's hitting right here. And so to make it dark and shiny, what I want to do is isolate my lighting much closer to that point, and you really see much more where that light is hitting. And so you get something more like this. And so I'm going to draw a little bit darker, but I'm going to draw shadowing on the other side of my muscles too. And so here, this is going to have a shadow along the top of it because my light's really hitting here. And so that's why things get so much darker, because you're really just seeing darkness, and then really where the light is really hitting the surfaces. And after, I'll tell you right now, if this was like a tutorial, I'd be erasing sort of agent because I feel like TC didn't illustrate as well as I would like. But, and I'm going to go much, now my light is hitting this muscle right here, and so I'm going to go much darker here, and just isolate it to where that is really dark like this. And my light is hitting here, darken that So you're really seeing the light played out in the circles. And so that's why that works. When that works. That's the idea. I wish there was a better example, so apologies. But there you go. I feel like, all of that work, this was probably the best example of it actually working. This is the thing, I do these tutorials, and so many times I don't get the point across that I thought I was going to get across that I can sit here and go, make this actually make sense. But there you go. That's how it works.
And we'll finish off with one final super chat from Agent Cub for $2. When can we expect to see your own comic?
Well, I have a comic out that I've been working on for a long time now, for a long time.
In 2022.
2022, but early 2022. It is coming out. I'm very excited about it. It's long. It's huge and probably pages enormously. So I have a book coming out. It's a big one. Hopefully it'll be big in terms of like it'll do well, but it's big. I mean, just there's a lot. So yes, I've got a comic coming. It's been too long, and I love doing covers. I'm doing Walking Dead covers right now, and I'm sure you guys know that. And some other things, but yeah, I've got a book coming.
Okay, and there's one final super chat I missed from Tagmo Model Works, which I think is a perfect one, and on $5. $5 for the artsy fartsy comment. Simple design is better. Enough said.
Enough said.
Enough said.
Thank you very
Artsy
much,
fartsy. Thanks, Tag. And that wraps it for us for tonight.
For tonight, yeah.
One more stream where Dave finishes off Rural Abroad next week.
Right.
Did I say scene or stream?
Don't know.
I don't either, because it's past 10 o'clock. It's past my bedtime. I'm delirious with fatigue.
All right. Thank you very much. We will see you guys next week.
And I'll sing happy birthday for everybody who has their summer birthday.
Wow, this is going to be a long night. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Hopefully it's beautiful where you are, too.
All right. See ya.
Whoa, kids! You caught me smoking one of them completely legal CBD cigarettes here on the internet as we prepare to do our show. Welcome to Fat Man Beyond. I'm the very handsy Kevin Smith.
My name is Mark Bernard. Just a finger.
Hey! Finger and Mark Bernardin, they called him. Over he worked at Marvel back in the day. In the bullpen, they'd be like, Finger and Mark Bernard. That wouldn't go at all these days. Danny the Leg, that kind of thing. Like Smiling Stan, Jolly Jack, Finger and Mark.
Handsy Hank.
Welcome, kids. It's Sunday night. Apologies for going so late. Some people complained. Of course, the good folks over in the UK are like, oi! Because, they'd like to watch the show at a decent time. But we had to go a little bit late this week, or a lot late. Not because of me. Not because of Finger and Mark Bernard. Let's bring in fucking Bamford to take his medicine. Hey, Bamf man, get in here. What's
All right.
What are doing while we couldn't start early?
It was Nick.
Let me see. Actually, let's keep this rolling.
Directing a video game, or a series of video game commercials for a game called Big Cooking. Now they just got way more than they bargained for.
What's the name? Big Cooking?
Big Cooking. It's a game where you're a chef in the kitchen. It's like an iPhone game, and you pay a buck or two to play. You play against somebody else, and whoever gets the most points wins like the pot. So like you put in $1 and I put in $1, we play against each other, and then the winner of the game gets like a $1.85, and then the company keeps like 15 cents.
Sounds like gambling.
It does. I don't know if we're allowed to call it that, but
We're not getting it. It's probably with rocks, man. And so you were doing that all day or yesterday or whatever?
yeah. So I did that yesterday. again soon on the show was my DP. So little Fat Man reunion.
It's been a dog's age since we saw Andrew, man, since we stopped going to the actual Scum and Villainy Cantina, but we'll be headed there soon. Tell them when, man.
So we're coming back on Tuesday, June 22nd. All of the restrictions are lifting. We can have people back in the bar. And then I think we're going to do another show that Saturday as well. So we're going to do a double dose to bring in live shows again.
What? Wait, there's going to be another show there that's not me and Mark?
No, well, no, we're doing Fat Man on Tuesday the 22nd, the late night show, the show that starts at 8 p.m.
Oh, come on, stop getting all clicky. Come on. Trying to finish up here.
Discuss. So, for all the people who can't stay up all night on Tuesday to come see us, they can come see us Saturday afternoon.
Fucking hell. Sounds like a plan. Where will they be able to get tickets when that happens?
csmod.com and also facebook.com/scum and villainy cantina.
Oh my god, here we go, doing that fucking thing as soon as I'm done. As soon as I'm done, I'm like trying to finish up. I'm like, oh, finishing touches. Oh, why are you locking up on me?
And then not doing it for a couple of months. But those two. Then we'll go back to this for a while. I'll be on the East Coast, Mark will be on the West Coast. But then, like September, every damn week in the bar, just like we used to. We, of course, get to do this every week, ladies and gentlemen, because some folks clear a path for us, man. They're called sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. They sponsor the show. And this week we got a couple sponsors. The first up is one of our favorite, man, and certainly my wife's favorite, because every time they send a package, because we're about to do an ad, the package gets absconded. But that's right, kids. We're talking about Native, man. We go to native.com, native.deo.com/fatman right now while we're talking about it. Or go to native.deo.com and use the promo code FATMAN. Check out. You can get 20% off your first order. Can you believe that, man? That's native.deo.com/.
Wait, I forgot these guys like to talk for like ever about these things. I'll just skip ahead 5 minutes. Look at it, 5 minutes skip and they're still talking about it. Holy shit. Go another 2 minutes. Motherfuckers.
Which one's this? Crystal what? I don't give a shit. Be ready to go. I'm telling you, man, James Mangold did make a fantastic movie. But until then, we can bathe ourselves in the Steven Spielberg and George Lucas glory. The Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Yeah, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and Indiana Jones the Last one. Is that part of this kit as well?
Yeah, you're never going to be able to not get the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Look, I'll take.
Alright. So, that's going to be the end of this one. Let's see. Let's see where we began. Started here. And finished product. Dun, 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 dun. Hell yeah, man. Works for me. Let's go through it layer by layer. See what happened. See what happened was do some color changing here. I was thinking about throwing a jacket on him this time, like a rain jacket or something, but I was like, nah, that wouldn't make any sense. So did some body stuff, some hair, base. Got the face going. Added the eyeball. Added some touch up here. Oh yeah, the piercings. Got the gills going. Oh, those really aren't on there all that well, huh? Let me see. Let's do this. There we go. Got the hair. And sign it. Save it. And oh yeah, duh. And let's see, how long have we been streaming? It's only been just over an hour. Yeah, so let's make this one a twofer. I got some time. We got some time. Right, chat? Hell yeah. So yeah, let's keep going.
I don't care about the rest of the internet. I'm a completionist, Mark. So I'll take that crystal skull and I'll put it right. I'll take it if they give it to me. A little later on, we'll spend some time talking about the Indiana Jones movies, particularly Raiders of the Lost Ark, as me and Mark both reminisce about the day that we saw it. Because kids, we saw it in theater. Well, I can speak for myself. I saw it in a movie theater day one. What about you, Mark?
I don't think it was day one, but it was definitely the original run. And that's saying something because that was back in the day when movies would like be in theaters for a year, then disappear, and come back for a triumphant another return engagement. You could see it in theaters. Like E.T. you could see in theaters for a long time. Star Wars would go and come and go and come. But I saw it in the first run, so I feel good about that.
I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark 43 times.
Oh man, this looks so burned on the recording. It doesn't look anything like that. Like the way that I see it, like if I was working off of the oh, there we go. Are we focused? Ah, brightened up again. Bring it up. Okay, so see when I pull up a menu, because it's so bright over here, it'll darken everything else up when it focuses. So yeah, I'm seeing something more like this, but that's still even a little bright. Oh well, some burn happening. It's alright.
He's going to walk away with that tremendous box, courtesy of the good folks at who's responsible for Paramount? Paramount's doing it. Paramount?
Paramount. Paramount still has like the home video rights at the very least to his first four movies, even though he bought Lucasfilm.
Yeah, that's
All right.
what I thought. I thought this was part of the Disney World. Hey, you know who would know about this sort of shit? Banff Man. Yo, Banff Man, little Lucasfilm bitch. Get in here. Banff.
He's so abused on his last couple of hours.
If anybody knows, it's got to be you. What's going on? Did Disney buy Raiders of the Lost Ark?
I feel like they did. Well, it's weird because when Disney bought Lucasfilm, 20th Century Fox owned A New Hope. So A New Hope didn't like carry over into the on the distribution side of the pictures. So like when they first put those movies up before Disney bought Fox, A New Hope had the 20th Century Fox logo, and they stripped it off Empire and Jedi because Lucas owned those, and then all the prequels just to himself. So I imagine this has got to be something similar to that. Like maybe Disney has the rights to the movies going forward, but Paramount still has the distribution rights to the initial 3 plus that other one, Indiana Jones movies.
Gavin Halleck in the chat says Kevin is selling pirated DVDs. We're not selling pirated DVDs, are we?
You don't believe so?
I'm trying to work in this business. I don't get thrown out for bootlegging, for heaven's sakes.
Like trunk full of CDs.
Yes. You'll find me out in the parking lot of the Arby's across from the old what's that place where they sell hip records and shit like that?
Tower Records.
No, the other place, that other joint, you know.
Oh, Amoeba.
Amoeba, that's right. I was going hip, Mark, hip, not urban. apartment. Amoeba. I'm gonna be in the parking lot of the fucking. It's not even a maybe it's a Hardee's. I don't know. Across the way. The joke fell apart. I'm gonna let it die right there. Point being, yes, we're not. Well, when Disney bought all the Marvel movies, like Paramount held Iron Man for a minute, but then it eventually went to Disney. I wonder if that will happen with the Indiana Jones movies.
I mean, there will probably be some kind of arrangement that those studios make so that, Disney can release the giant 5-film box set at some point, just as I'm sure they made some financial payment to Paramount to get Iron Man, lock, stock, and barrel. But yeah, I mean, this kind of thing happens all the time. Movie studios all kind of sharing, a piece of IP. Spider-Man is still a Sony property, but Marvel's got its fingers in it, and they can sort of negotiate, and they can absolutely make things happen that'll benefit both sides.
You heard it right here from Finger and Mark Bernardi first. He said they got their fingers in this stuff. Willie Jackson on the chat is going, Kevin, you said that you met Harrison Ford. You never said anything about directing his wife because she was in Supergirl. First off, I've never met Harrison Ford. Second off, I didn't even direct his wife in Supergirl. That came on season 2, I think she was only season 1. So I've never met Harrison Ford. I don't think I've ever even had like holy shit, it's Harrison Ford. Like, of course I've met and worked with Mark Hamill back on Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, many other things since then. But most recently, Mark, I've worked with Mark Hamill in a little project perhaps you might have heard of this week called Masters of the Universe Revelation.
It seems as if I've seen it trending once or twice.
More on that later. But I've met, of course, and worked with the late great Carrie Fisher, but I don't run in the same circles as Harrison Ford, which is crazy because I hear he's a big stoner. So you can imagine we can work well together. But I ain't no Jimmy Mangold. My mom been telling me that since I was a little boy. She'd say, Tiger, you ain't no Jimmy Mangold. I said, I know, Ma. I know. Yeah. My mom would like to put it up front. You're many things, Tiger, and to me you're everything, but you'll never be Jimmy Mangold. I was like, fair enough. He's gonna make a genius movie. I don't know that guy. I got no skin in the game, but I've seen every movie he's made, and he's the real deal. He does it for the love. I don't think he's in it because he's like, the money's green. I think he's a born storyteller. So I think that Indiana Jones movie is gonna be nice. But we'll talk more later on about Raiders of the Lost Ark. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about what you came here to see us talk about. And that, of course, is Loki. Marvel dropped another show this week. It was on Wednesday. Is that right? Midweek?
It was, yeah. They've given us a little break. Then we had the rapid fire 1-2 of WandaVision and then Falcon Winter Soldier. Like, you know what, guys? Take like a month off. Let's let you get back to it. Let's let you pay some bills. Let's let you do some shit in the world because you've been locked down waiting for the next episode of these things all the time. Let's give you some time off. And now they came back to us with some Loki.
Now this series, when they announced it, I was like, oh, I'll watch it. I was like, I'll watch it. I was like, I'll do them a solid. They need help. I'll watch it. It's Marvel. They're always struggling. I'll watch it. I was like psyched for WandaVision. And with Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki, I was like, yeah, I'm sure they'll be good. And as we saw, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was fantastic. Episode 1 of Loki, brilliant. They're taking us on a different journey altogether. We ain't seen this show before. Spending this much time with Tom Hiddleston in that character role that made him famous and being able to explore it, and then getting to the fucking feels of it all. As he sees the damage, that he's wrought across his life, and then sees like his life if he had stayed in that timeline, if he hadn't wound up in the TVA. So aside from like some, fucking bureaucratic laughs, like watching the show set at the fucking DMV, you got that. You've got continuing major character from like the earliest Marvel Cinematic Universe days with Loki, taken front as center stage. And then you've also somehow the story about, the god of mischief, that is really what's shaping up to be a kind of human story. It smells like. You know, Owen Wilson, it's always been Owen Wilson, but boy, oh boy, they put him in something that I'm like, I'll watch him do this every day of the day. Like, it's the role he was born to play, himself. Because he's such a charm fucking factory in this thing, man. Like he would like when Loki's like, I'm gonna burn this place to the ground. He's like, you could start with my office or start with my desk. Like, good shit, man. Funny shit. So I love what they've started with. I thought they were going to give us 2 episodes to begin, but just 1. But no complaints, because it was a solid, almost an hour-long fucking episode and quality from top to bottom. And I'm in. I like this journey. I like where we're going. I'm not quite sure. As they told spoilers, that they told us at the end, they're going to use him to hunt him. So there's a whole bunch of stuff we're about to find out. But I'm on board, man. Like, I know a lot of people are like, Marvel cut you a check. I fucking wish. Because really, I cut Marvel a check all the time. They don't pay me for the privilege of being like, I like their shit. Like, I got to pay for it like everybody else and shit. And I didn't even get fucking episodes early. People got episodes early. I saw a lot of people in the press were like, the first 2 episodes are great. And I'm like, first 2 episodes? Don't we know anybody? But, no, I ain't on no payroll. I'm just a fan. And they've not lost me yet. They're keeping I'm enthralled. Still enthralled with what they're doing over there. I'm not like, they're reinventing TV. They're just making movies as gigantic, fucking TV shows. Like, making TV shows as gigantic, ongoing features at this point. So I'm all for it. I read an article somewhere where they're like about 18 to 20 million per episode on their shows, which is,
I think a lot of this cast also. A lot of it's like, hey, if we're gonna get the Hill story and Owen Wilson and moving about the road, we gotta pay them like this is a movie.
you know what I like about these shows, Mark, that just occurs to me, the Marvel shows on Disney Plus, is that when you get a Marvel movie, there's good dialogue, but generally you're there for big action sequences and fucking fights and stuff like that. So, the dialogue will take a backseat from time to time. Now that they've got hours to fill, like, you get these long, wonderful scenes where you get a fantastic actor like Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson to sit there in a fucking room and talk to each other. Like, when I see scenes like that, I'm like, oh, maybe I could have made a Marvel something. Because all they're doing is sitting down talking to each other. So, in a world where it's like, they can't, every episode can't be $100 million and stuff, they take time to do scenes where nothing expensive is going on. The most expensive thing probably in that one scene is, like you said, the 2 actors' salaries. But, like, once you build that one set, like, just let them sit there and go for 5, 7 pages. Like, that's what I dig about Marvel TV shows. They're letting us hear more dialogue than we've ever heard in those movies. You get that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Because once you have actors like that, you want to give them things to chew on, right? You give them roles to dig into. I'm of a lot of different minds about it. I'm of the mind of like, WandaVision was very much like, we are not going to handhold you whatsoever. We are like, fuck it, keep up or get off the train, or we're going to drop you to 3 episodes where you don't know what's going on. You're relying on the fact that you're deep Marvel fans, and so you're going to be doing a lot of this work for us, but we're going to kind of leave you a bit of drift, and that's part of the thing. We want you to be disoriented. And then you get to Loki, where it's like, did you forget what Loki was about? Did you forget what happened before? It's cool, but half of this is a clip show. But we want you to get to up to speed on everything you need to know about Loki. And I found that difference of sort of perspective and of technique kind of interesting on how they travel that spectrum from, we're relying on you to just hold on tight Soldier, but you're like, you know these guys, we're gonna see them in the middle of action shit, to this, which is, did you forget who Loki was? So now we're going to tell you exactly who Loki is. Um, it felt a lot like a zero issue to me. Um, you know, in comic books they were doing like, here's the story before the story begins problem. You know, let's just kind of, let's spool it back to, you know, the first time like, this person came to the X-Mansion. Or let's show you like, here's the week before Frank Castle's family died. You know, um, because there's lots of filling in blanks of, you know, here's who Loki is, here's what he did in the Avengers, here's what happened to him in Thor the Dark World and Ragnarok, and here's what the TVA is, and here's the sort of Brazil 12 Monkeys kind of, you know, amazing design of it. But here's the bureaucracy of time. And let's show you what that is. And like, all right, that's kind of cool. But like, the story doesn't really engage until you're in the very last moments of it. You know, like there's an evil variant of you out there that we need you to help us catch. Like, oh shit, that's badass. There's also a version of that conversation that happens 20 minutes in. When it's like, we need you to help us catch you. And who better than you to find out what you're gonna do next? Like, all right, cool, I'm here for that. Um, so like,
Do you think it's him, or do you think it's like Lady Loki?
there's a little Easter egg thing that I saw mentioned online. When you look at like Loki's intake papers for the TVA, and then like there's little running down his like biographical information or whatever, and under sex it says fluid. And it's like, oh,
Which doesn't mean what he prefers. It means
his desire to identify as a god can be anything he wants it to be. Whatever will cause the most mischief at any given time. And so if he's Lady Loki, if they are Lady Loki, then that's a pretty decent it's a fun path to go. And being cast to be Lady Loki, and that's pretty amazing. But to even just be able to play that stuff in a 6, 8, 10 episodes of a TV show, it's kind of cool. I like more where it's going than what we actually got this episode, which is totally fine because it's like it's Hiddleston doing a thing you've seen him do. Like he's always really good at it. And it's Owen Wilson doing that thing he's done since Wedding Crashers, which we all like very very much. But none of it feels right. But it's just fun to watch. Like yeah, man, I watch this dude like dig into his deep dark soul stuff and turn Loki from 2012 Avengers into Loki at the back end of Thor Ragnarok, which is a dude who's been sort of humbled and chastened by time and experience. And of course he's going to watch that sequence where Thor says, Loki, I thought the world of you.
That is one of my favorite scenes in all the Marvel movies, and I think number one, the sentiment is beautiful. But I thought Hemsworth's delivery was so fucking like natural, where he was just like, okay, I fuck the world with you. Side by side, and Loki just kind of falling into disappointment and shit. Yeah, that's a nice moment. It was like my wife was she's not a, you know, she didn't go deep in Thor or anything like that. So she was completely like, oh, he was in the Avengers about like Loki, and you know, I was like, don't worry, I'll explain it as we go along. But they did a pretty good job of catching you the fuck up. Like, so even if you're unfamiliar with those movies, they literally were like, hey, remember this scene? So, you know, I didn't have to pause it. It wasn't like WandaVision, which remember, WandaVision wasn't supposed to be first. What was going to go first?
Falcon Winter Soldier was supposed to be the first one out of the gate.
That was a little more spoon-feeding.
Just convention. It was like, yeah, these two guys, we know who they are. It's Lethal Weapon, but with, you know, Sam and Bucky. So it didn't take a massive, like, intellectual buy-in to make sense of that. But WandaVision was like, oh shit, you gotta be pot committed to follow along with this, especially until they start revealing shit in like the bottom of episode 3, top of 4.
Right.
And this is very much like, if you've never seen one of these before, if you've forgotten what Loki is about, here's what I say. It's kind of ballsy. I don't know if I ever would have thought that you could ever have it also be a clip show. Usually we wait until like season 4 for a clip show. And like, first one out of the gate. Here's a bunch of footage you've seen before. I'm like, okay, that's the way to do it. You know, I felt like, and that's not to knock on it at all, because it's fun, it's easy.
which to be fair, again, it would have, like, we wouldn't even be watching WandaVision now, would we? Would Loki have come second?
I don't think so. I think it was always they just flopped
They
those
just
two.
don't.
Because this is very much about the multiverse. Like, they're now teaming up. Like, there was a ship in Wanda was like, feeling like she's angry with where she is and her own emotional state. And then we're teaming up the idea of multiverses and multiversal wars and variants and madness. There was even part of that, like a sort of, hi, I'm Mr. DNA. So I'm Mr. TBA animated thing. They're talking about, like, there's some variants if they press too high, that way lies madness. And then multiversal wars. And you saw at some point, like, Crews fighting against the Nova Squadron and shit like that. It's like, oh, we are just now putting shit like
That could be the next Infinity Saga. You got to a multiverse war.
Yeah, I mean that's what
Where like Spider-Man is fighting Spider-Man. Like
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is precisely where this is all leading to. So it feels very much like this is kind of where we're supposed to go and try.
I'm liking. Let's talk about two things in the show that were. I wouldn't go so far as say controversial, but they definitely people were like, "What the fuck?" Number one, the Infinity Stones in the drawer. What did you take that to mean? I mean, they said over and over again, magic doesn't work here. Right. And in the comics, like I saw a piece, I forget who did it, maybe comicbook.com or Comic Book Resources, but in the comics, when they did the crossover with Marvel and DC, Darkseid got the Infinity Gauntlet with the stones, but it didn't work. It only works in the dimension it's from. So I saw a piece online where they were going like, if that it holds in the movies as well, then yeah, outside of this timeline, those stones would do nothing. But I think the idea that they kept setting up in the TVA was like, magic doesn't work here. So even if those fucking stones show up, it don't really matter. But it seemed like they had multiples of the stones. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like multiple timelines at some point, various variants have been sort of captured with one or two or three of the stones, and they got it in the fucking drawer and they don't do anything. And there's a great moment when like Loki looks at this like sort of gallery of tin jewelry and was like, well, fuck, I was willing to mortgage an entire universe for this stuff. If you're just sitting in a drawer, powerless, like, you know, that's the stuff that I totally did dig into, which is reframing for this Loki the futility of his entire plot. Like, what were you gonna do when you took over? What were you doing after?
That's what I got out of it. Even with the stones, it's like when he was just looking at him, it's like, oh my god, like my whole life I was trying to fucking get to that power or help that guy get that power, get power so I get power and shit, and ultimately, like, this is it. But somebody in the time in the comments was like, the stones are magic. Perhaps I misspoke. Are the stones not magic?
I mean,
They certainly do magic. I mean, I guess we could call them cosmic, but like, you know, some of that shit is literally magic. I'm not fighting for it. I got no skin in the game, but like, since they literally said in the show magic doesn't work here, and it was in reference to the stones, I figured.
yeah, or in reference both the stones and to Loki himself. But I think that there is because
Dirt Drop Garage in the comments says you guys are being way too fake about Loki show. It sucked. I legit fucking like the show. Did people not like the show? What was the general consensus out there? Is it like this bad?
the general consensus is this is fun, but not a lot of it. You know, like which is sort of where I sit. Which is like, you know, this was a good time, but it's a zero issue. It's like a one half issue. And it's not the first issue of the comic book. It's not the pilot of the show per se. It's very little context. It's introducing you to the world, but not any essential content. It's not engaging you in what that story is going to be. But I think Hiddleston gets you a lot of grace because he's so fucking fun to watch. But you know, dude in the chat, your opinion may vary. You know, everybody's open to their interpretation.
Once I asked about that, like it was flooded with, I liked it, I loved it, I liked it, I was So it seems generally it was positive, but that hit me where I was like, oh my god, it didn't occur to me that somebody wouldn't want this. My bar is, as we all know, kids, incredibly low. I'm a very easy man to please, and if you can ring my bell by making me cry, oh, the world is yours. But this show did not make me cry. I didn't cry during Loki, and not because I'm like, it means it's not good enough. They're not trying. I don't, other than the real emotional moment with Freya, like, I don't think the whole aim is to try to draw tears out of it as much as laughs, and I did laugh a couple times. But yeah, I like the show.
Dude, I thought that first episode was perfect.
You'll never hear about something I don't like. I'll never trash something because it's a waste of time. But if you don't hear me talking about something, chances are, I've tried it and didn't like it and shit. So when we do talk about a thing, it's because we like talking about it, and we're gonna continue talking about a thing. I mean, we got how many more episodes of Loki?
No. Mr. Bankman, might you know?
Bankman, na 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 na, Bankman, na 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 na.
I don't, but I'll look it up.
Bamped in for that? Fucking waste of time, man. The band has to be treated sacred. So that people don't... 6?
Yeah.
That's it? What the fuck am I gonna do with the rest of my life?
Black Widow.
That's only 2 hours. Max. What's the next show after Loki?
I think it's Black Widow, then Shang-Chi, and then we get Hawkeye.
They make us go to the movies for a little while?
They're gonna make us go to or sit at home. Thank you, Disney Premiere. For $30, you can sit at home and watch Black
You
Widow.
think they're gonna keep that up after the pandemic?
So far they show no signs of slipping, and if the audience continues to go to both places in robust numbers, why would they?
They can charge me. Oh! Ant-Man is back.
We do have What If coming out as well.
Excellent point. Well remembered. That is worth dancing into. That's
And-
just, and it looks amazing.
Hawkeye, and apparently at some point, She-Hulk, right?
Oh, that's right. Shooting Shulky right now. I saw a photo of Mark Ruffalo standing next to somebody.
Oh, shit. What am I doing? Oh, yeah.
But he had the suit on and the dots on his face, which indicates that they're doing CG and shit like that. So yeah, that's right. We got that show to look forward to.
And then
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel, which I thought a couple weeks back.
And that's in the, I believe, Ms. Marvel's in the can already, so that's probably one of the, after Hawkeye, I imagine it'll be before, that's right around Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we got more series.
And then there's Secret Invasion, and there's Armor Wars, and there's a bunch of stuff in there on the pipeline.
Let me tell you something, man, I've been at the epicenter of a lot of affection this week, Mark, because of the Masters of the Universe Revelation teaser trailer that came out, and I'm sure you felt it as well. And, I'm sure I'm not telling anybody anything new when I say that this is rarefied breathing for me. I'm used to making shit like walrus movies where most people are like, go fuck yourself. Here I am involved in something that like a lot of people love and seem to love what we're doing with it based on the teaser that they've watched and stuff like that. And the compliment I've been getting over and over and over again from utter strangers is thank you for giving me my childhood back. This looks like my childhood and stuff like that. That is how I feel when you talk about the Marvel movies and TV shows. Like when you said Secret Invasion and Armor Wars, it's like my fucking nipples got hard. I was just like, oh, suddenly everything's right with the world. Like that's right. We have fucking amazing things to look forward to. And they keep hitting my sweet spot. Like I'll tell you when they fucking miss, man. Like I'm hoping to God it ain't Eternals, because Eternals is the one Marvel property I'm walking into where I know almost nothing. Never read the books. I can't say like I wasn't a fan because I wasn't even aware of the fucking books, man. Like they weren't rocking Eternals that hardcore when I was collecting. So I'm going in completely clean. I'm gonna need somebody sitting next to me, like Walt Flanagan to be like, oh, all right, pause. This is what this means, and this is what this comes from, and stuff like that. But
Uh-oh.
you know, and still, it's not like this looks like it sucks. It's just the one that I'm walking into. No childhood.
Oof. Excuse me. Sorry.
To see if
Sneezing.
my love for the Marvel stuff is more predicated on my
Drink some
you know,
water.
nostalgia, my childhood affection, or on the actual current entertainments themselves. We'll see. But like when you said Armor Wars, I was like, I got so happy. I was like, oh my god, that's right. That's how those Masters of the Universe fans feel when they see that teaser and they're like, oh my god, it's just right.
It's much like you. There's some of these Marvel things that I'm not as connected to as others. Like I was not connected at all to Guardians of the Galaxy.
There was another one. You're right. I wasn't connected to that at all either.
I wasn't that connected to Ant-Man. Like I knew who he was. Like it was not a top 20 hero in my book. But yeah, fucking I'll watch this movie.
I was not. I too wasn't like fucking it, but I was just like, I can't believe we're in this world where they're doing it. So I was more anticipatory of that than I was of Guardians. You're right. Eternals and Guardians are now kind of roughly. That's why I think I give Eternals the benefit of the doubt, because I'm like, I remember being like, the Guardians of the Galaxy, were they fucking nuts? And then, you know, obviously they weren't. So, no, I interrupted you.
Yeah, I mean, there's none of these automatically for me are like that. Not gonna watch it. Don't care. There are some of them that I'm a little bit more like, okay, like show me something. And there's other ones that I'm just all over the games. And you're like, fuck yeah, bring it to me right now, put it in my face. You know, and I think right now Loki is a little bit, I'm not gonna say wait and see, because I'm going to see every episode every week, but just it's got a little bit further to go to engage me in what it is. I'm still not entirely sure what it is yet. The world seems interesting. I love the idea of the TVA, and I love the idea of somebody like Loki kind of colliding with what that is. That seems like a dude who does not truck well with systems and bureaucracy. And so to be mired in some giant one looks like it's going to be fun. And there is that old saying that any technology that is sufficiently advanced will look like magic. And so perhaps that is how the magic of the Infinity Stones gets explained, which is just technology we don't understand yet.
In chat, this one made me smile. Daniel Russell, and I don't think he intended to make me smile, says, neutered He-Man. Thanks, Manscaped. Because it's commercials for Manscaped all the time. Neutered He-Man. Kids, He-Man is nowhere neutered in our show, but he was ever neutered in any episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I don't understand why, like, did everyone watch the show? Well, everyone. Largely.
Did He-Man come out yet?
9% of the reactions to this teaser.
Wait, did He-Man come out yet? Here I am watching Tresse.
We're like, we're being fucking bait and switched.
Hold on, I think they said it's on Netflix, right?
We went out of our way to
Let me see, man. He-Man.
Like fascinating. But in any event, that makes me like smile because apparently our advertising is effective. Like this cat remembers that we do Manscaped commercials, and they were not this week's sponsor.
They weren't. I would be more impressed if the guy was he Manscaped.
Power of Grayskull, He-Man and Masters of the Universe, She-Ra. It doesn't look like it's...
As I said on the internet, this our series is exactly as woke as He-Man and the Masters of the Universe in the 80s. We literally...
Doesn't look like it's come out yet.
Spoilers, kids. In the old show, He-Man would sometimes get in trouble and his friends would save him. I know because I literally watched every episode. So, spoilers again, we do that in our show as well. Like there are moments when friendship is the only way to get through something, and that's what we learned watching every episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe when we sat down to do our live stream. So if you're bumping into that, you might bump into the old version of the show. But I'm telling you, I've never felt so much fucking love, dude. Like people are so like warm and fucking wonderful about the teaser.
Oh,
This
teaser.
is the crazy
Okay.
part. Ready? So like online, it's easy for people to be like, you rock. And it's just as easy as it is for them to be like, you suck. This time around, it was more the former, way more the former, like very minimal left. Nobody going, you suck. I mean, some people suspect that. Going like, the bait and switch. I've seen that a lot. It's kind of nuts. But the the like overwhelmingly positive response makes me so happy because like that teaser, like while wonderful, and thank God Teddy Sully has been our, shepherd to the entire project, like the guy for whom we're making the whole show. He's the one that brought us into Netflix. There's other He-Man or Masters Universe projects going on. There's another show called He-Man and the Masters Universe, and it's more like it's wrong to say it's a kid show because ours is a kid show as well, but definitely more youth oriented with CG characters and stuff like that. More, what is it?
I think it's like for you. And if you're a 9-year-old kid and you've never seen it before, that's your honor.
That's exactly it. And kind of a reinvention of the franchise as well. And then, of course, they're always trying to make the feature film, which, like, I wish I had any sort of news for you. That's a completely different division, so I only know what folks know online. I read the same shit you do. I got no other inside information on it. But we were hired, literally, to make the show for, like, Teddy and his age group who grew up watching the show, for whom it was religion. That's why, like, I knew we would never fail with the show because the guy who's in charge of us, the guy who signs our paychecks, the guy who made all of this happen, is the guy who knows more about Masters of the Universe than anyone watching this will ever fucking know. Like, and that's not even an overstatement. That the dude is a walking encyclopedia of Motu. And right now, if you're excited for Masters of the Universe Revelation, you are literally living in Teddy Biaselli's dream. This is something he's dreamed about since he was a kid. Like when I met with him to get the job, he was the one that was like, just do me a favor. When I was a kid, I thought this was real. I thought every episode Skeletor was going to kill He-Man. I was scared for him. He was like, now I got older and I realized that was never going to happen. He's going, all I want is to feel that way again. I just want to feel stakes. I want to be convinced that like something bad could happen to these characters and stuff. He's going, and just please don't treat it silly. He's like, it's low-hanging fruit for some people, and so they'll want to make fun of it. They'll want to like tease it, make pop culture references and stuff like that. I really thought he was talking directly to me. I'm like, well, isn't that why I'm here? And he was like, just do me a favor, like, treat it seriously. Just for once, I just want to see if this would work. This is his words, and it shaped the whole fucking project. Because treat it like Shakespeare. And so I was like, all right, like, fucking, we'll play this serious as a heart attack one. And it's not to say there's not fun in it and levity and stuff, just like the show that we are spiritually sequelizing. But there are stakes, and we do play it very seriously. And so Teddy, who's like guided us every step of the way, he was the guy I asked this week because the internet like blew up about the song choice for the teaser track. Not only were they like nuts about like, oh my god, this looks great, visually speaking, that belongs to Pat and Adam, our directors at Powerhouse Animation. They're absolutely fucking brilliant, man. All that big action, all that glorious animation comes from those cats and the good folks at Powerhouse Animation. So
I tried working for them. They didn't want me either. I've met them.
So,
I would have loved to work for Powerhouse. I would have loved to work on some He-Man stuff.
I asked the good folks in marketing, Joey and the folks in marketing and Netflix. I said, the internet
My work is
thinks
shite.
that I picked that song. And you know me, I don't like to take credit for shit that I didn't do. So please tell me who picked that song? Like what marketing person like said, oh, let's take that song? And they were like, a little birdie told me it was Teddy. And I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious? They're like, absolutely. And this is the charming fucking story of why that song is in, why Hero, I Need a Hero, Hold Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler is in our teaser trailer. Ready for this? So fucking Like in a world where you're like, Smith said this, write this fucking story because it's adorable. So Teddy tells the marketing folks, like they give him trailers with a few like song options, and naturally we wanted the 80s song. So Teddy writes back, when I was a kid, I would put on the Footloose soundtrack, and I would play with my figures and choreograph fights to that song, to Hero. So can we try a version with that? And they did, and it's fucking on all the downbeats, the action's hitting and shit like that. It's wonderfully edited. But that came from the head and heart of the guy who's been guiding this project from day one. So, you know, he's the greatest thing that happened. I wouldn't have this job were it not for him, for Rob David. They were like, all right, come on in. And, you know, I was safe the whole time because you could never go off the rails. Because on one side you have Rob, who had written the DC Comics version of He-Man and Master Universe for the last year. And on the other side we had Teddy, who was like, if you really do a Zoom with him, his background is literally all the Motu figures out of boxes, and they're the original ones from his childhood. So, like, to give credit where credit's due, Ted Biaselli was the one that was like, let's put that song in there. And I'm telling you, as much as people were like, I read all the feedback. As much as people were like, oh my God, it looks crazy, it looks like my childhood. The very next comment, if not the main comment, was like, that song slapped. Like, what a great fucking choice. You're brilliant. I got a lot of credit for it, but like,
Yeah, Max be playing that song every time he has the stream on hold, man. So I hear that song every day. It's a good song. I need a
It
hero.
has been a wonderful week in Eternia.
So yeah,
The love
for sure.
was flying fast into some internet of anything and anyone related to Mrs. Universe. And I feel as if I'm probably getting more love than I deserve. I think there was lots of people who were like, Master Universe Revelation from Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin. It's like, oh, slow down, team. Like, this is from Kevin Smith, and I did some work on it. Like, I do the job of a writer in a room on staff of a TV show and helping execute the showrunner's vision. And it's not my vision, it was Kevin's vision. And so, like, my job is, hey man, this would be a fun idea. And Ken says, you know what, I like that. Hey man, this would be fun. And he's like, I'm not vibing on that. And then I write a script, I do some revisions, and then off it goes to the master's at Powerhouse and make it look awesome. But
Oh, shit.
I deserve
No wonder this wasn't working.
about
Duh.
40 to 50% less credit for how awesome this show will be, because it is all Kev. It is all me.
So you're very sweet. Everyone plays their part and does their role. But as anybody who watches the show every week knows, you know, there's a real good story, man, right there. Well, I'm always like, oh my God, we should do that. Oh my God, stop sharing that. You should do that as a movie instead. So, you know, it wasn't like, well, let's bring Mark along because, like, he's a good guy. Like, I've been sitting next to a fucking hardcore story man for years time doing the show. So the moment I had a show where I could give jobs and shit, I was like, thank you. Yeah.
A little bit bad. Because the trailer for the new Guardians of the Galaxy video game dropped today, I think, part of like an E3, Xbox, whatever. And they also used I Need a Hero by Bonnie Tyler. And it's like, you know what? I'm so glad we dropped it like 4 days ago. Because you don't want to be the second people to try and dominate the world with that song on your fun-ass trailer.
I don't know if there's any truth to this whatsoever, but I heard a rumor, and believe me, I have no connections to, you know, Disney Plus or the Marvel world whatsoever, but I hear that song plays in an upcoming episode of a TV show that we're very excited about as well.
It's Bonnie Tyler's in it.
I mean, look, let's be honest. It probably all stems from when they did the Luke Skywalker episode of Mandalorian. Somebody did a cut of him coming in. They did different versions, like here's the Star Wars scene, here's the...
Nah, I Need a Hero is probably best in Shrek. In the Shrek movie.
They did a version with Bonnie Tyler's Hero. So, you know, I think it was in the ethos and fucking in the ether. In the ether.
Yeah, in the Shrek movie, I think that's when it really did its thing.
That song's a great fucking song. Like,
Yeah.
There's a reason that song has lasted for 40 fucking years and stuff.
So, it's good to be first out of the gate if you're going to be, in the same pen with another thoroughbred who wants to use the same song. So, bully for Netflix and Geek Week for choosing, for whatever reason they did, that this was the time to debut that. So, well done, everybody.
It was insanely well done. And I can't wait for people to see the rest of it. If you like that teaser at all, wait until you see the story trailer. This has been a very difficult show to talk about without spoiling things, which allows for a lot of interpretation in the world and stuff like that. But like the story, the teaser trailer just dropped. I have seen the story trailer, which will come closer to the actual release of the show. And once you see the story trailer, kids, everything will make absolute sense. Anyone going like, I heard it's this, you're gonna go, oh, I see. I'm not gonna say, I can't say that like, and everyone will fucking love it because, some people would, are dug in and feel what they feel. But there's like, I love the story trailer because there's a line in the trailer that comes straight out of the show that like literally puts it all on Front Street where you go, oh, there it is. Yes. There's so it's been like, it's been tough for me because I'm always incredibly fucking forthright and honest and stuff. But like there's like I can only go so far and I can't say some things that would like dispel like a lot of chatter because
Oh man, this looks really bad on the screen. I wonder if it's because I have like no light in the room.
I don't want to lose this. I like this fucking book. So, it's when you work for somebody else, when they're my toys, like if I'm making Clerks 3, you'll hear all about it, kids. I'll tell you every fucking detail so much so that you can skip the movie. Most people do when it comes to this stuff. But since I'm working for somebody else, both Mattel and Netflix, I'm not as free to divulge all the details of the things that I'm working on and stuff. So I can't say, one or two things that would just kind of wave away, a lot of like people going like, well, I heard it. But like, you know me, I'm a lover, not a fighter, Mark. And I always like to make people happy. I saw like a story this week, like where I was like, oh, like my instincts to want to make people happy come to the forefront, but like I'm not going to be able to do it. So online, like there were a bunch of people that were like, you better apologize to Clownfish. There's a gentleman named Clownfish or website Clownfish where they had put up a tweet like last year, maybe in March, I don't know, but this is the tweet. And I responded to it. In the tweet, it said, Bounty in the comics had this, but I couldn't find the tweet, it's been deleted. It looked like I couldn't find it. But they wrote what was in the tweet. So they said here on Bounty in the comics, in March, Clownfish TV shared a rumor from an alleged insider that detailed, quote, and this was a quote, Teela, in our series, Teela is a better He-Man than Adam, and he steps aside to let her and her girlfriend take over hero duties. Now that was tweeted, and so this is what I tweeted back. Ready? And this is March 2020. I said,
Man.
as showrunner, I was trying to be nice. I was like, and fun, like, keep it light. As showrunner, I really could have used these story suggestions before we locked the script. However, no, He-Man does no stepping aside, and Teela has no girlfriend in our show. She has a friend who's a girl, but she has no girlfriend. That would be like saying He-Man has a boyfriend. He has a friend who's a boy in the show. He doesn't have a boyfriend. The storyline is pretty dark and way metal. Before Revelation, we were calling it End of the Universe. So, I didn't think that was very confrontational, but like to literally respond to this person said, this is what I'm told the show's about. I'm going to read it again. Tila is a better He-Man than Adam, and he steps aside to let her and her girlfriend take over hero duties. I wish I could apologize to Clownfish just because, like, I like peace. I like, I'm a lover, not fighter, Mark, but, like, that is patently untrue. There's not a single part of that. Mark, you've read the scripts.
I have.
I'm going to close my eyes and not make any eye contact with Mark. Mark, how am I right to say that that was absolutely untrue?
That what was tweeted and alleged is a falsehood.
Now, I'm not saying like somebody's fucking lying. I'm not the one accusing anybody of lying. I'm just saying that was tweeted and I tweeted that's not true because that description is patently unfucking true. Untrue. So, there was another tweet at one point where I guess they had like retweeted somebody. Scream Rain was retweeted, I think, by Clownfish or something. This goes to May 28th. And their tweet's unavailable, but in it they put up, like, in the synopsis it says this. So I had tweeted, with all due respect to Screen Rant, I've read every Masters official script for our shows, plus wrote a few, and viewed 4 amazing animatics. While Tila is as present as she's always been in Masters Universe Adventures, and she plays a big role, our series is literally all about He-Man. Mark, as somebody who's worked on the show, read the scripts, I'm going to close my eyes. Would you agree?
I hate that this is where, like,
Yes.
the,
The show's all about.
I hate it when shows do this. It's not necessary. Who cares
Do I have something to
about the
apologize
shit?
I don't believe so. State
That's not me picking a fight, man. All love to Clownfish or anybody who's like, saying that, like, they're saying that this show is a bait and switch, but, like, I'm responding to something that was written, and I swear to you, what was written is patently untrue. Doesn't resemble our show one iota. So I don't know what I could say.
5 years of American discourse have proved everything. It's that presenting some people with facts that might dispel closely held but entirely fallacious beliefs can seem an affront when none was intended. The corrective was not an assault.
That was not an assault. There was somebody said, yeah, but one other time you got saucy with him. So, okay, I'll read you this one other tweet and you tell me if this was saucy. I said, I put up that tweet as showrunner, blah, blah, blah. And then I commented on the same tweet, and I said, also, Clownfish, instead of posting your faux insider info, because he said that it was from an insider, so I'm quoting insider. I'm not saying, like, I'm not being facetious. I was using his line. I said, here's a real story. Mattel made a behind-the-scenes video featuring our actors recording, so a fan took some of Mark and Lena's dialogue and spliced them into old Filmation clips, and I gave him a clip. So ever trying to keep it light? I'm not, like, I ain't here to fight. I love this shit. Like, I don't find anything in pop culture worth fighting. Like, you don't like it, that's fucking great, I'm sorry. But, like, if I like a thing, I like a thing. And, when I see misinformation, like, I correct it. That tweet, going back to March, was absolute misinformation. And, some people are like, well, I've seen the synopsis of the show. I'm like, great. Does it sound like that tweet? Because that's not the show. I don't know how, but you know what? Don't matter. When the story trailer goes out there, then people will be like, oh, that's...
Pam.
Oh, look, Dave is here. How are you, Dave?
Good. I'm just looking at some of the chat, and a lot of people are saying, like, well, the people from Clownfish are the real He-Man fans and the OG He-Man fans. So I'm just going to say, I'm 40 years old. He-Man was the thing when I was a kid that I cosplayed, that I, like, went out and I got the stupid, like, cheap $2 dime store plastic sword, and I have the power in my backyard. My brother and I played He-Man. That's what all the photos are. I'm not playing Han Solo or Luke Skywalker, I'm playing He-Man. So I would consider myself one of the target audience OG fans of He-Man. And I may have slipped into your house and seen a handful of these episodes. And I'm also a fan of the 2002 He-Man reboot series. So I've watched all the He-Mans. And I've loved all the He-Mans. And I love your He-Man, and I think it's probably the best He-Man I've seen, especially as an OG fan at the age I'm at now. Meaning, if I go back and I watch the original 163 episodes of He-Man, my memories of those shows are different than what those shows are. Like, as a kid, those were the most epic, those were Avengers Endgame. But for me watching your show, it was the way I remembered the show as a kid. So the way that the OG He-Man plays for a 5-year-old kid, the new series plays for like a 40-year-old kid.
I'm with you on that. Like I'm not a genius, kids. I never claimed to be. Unless we're talking about making convenience store movies, in which case I do have some area of expertise over a lot of others. But I've watched a lot of TV. I've watched a lot of movies over the years, and even though I've never done something like this, like taking on fantasy characters this large, I come from the same place that most of the audience comes from, where it's just like, I dig Marvel because they restored my childhood to me in compelling new ways. Like, Marvel was our lodestar in the writers' room. Like, the idea of you're not gonna have anybody come in and sit down and be like, they fucked it up. Can't do it. I mean, again, I don't know how many different ways I can say this. Like, I'm not even being facetious. This isn't like Hollywood bullshit. I literally would have been fired by the man who hired me. Because the man who hired me loves He-Man way more than anyone on the internet. Like, wait, the dude has reorganized all the functioning principles of his life and work to get to the position where he can fucking demand that they make this He-Man series. Like, that dude would have fucking fired me. I promise you. Like, I know some people are like, man, you're Kevin Smith. Yeah, that means I can get hired a lot. So unless you do a thing correctly, out you fucking go. And it's not like I'm a Netflix overlord or some shit. So trust me, like, if we had fucking stepped off the path where this show was not Masters of the Universe, like, I'm not fucking kidding. I would have been like, no, like.
And when it comes to the clownfish of it all, it's like, it's not a matter of the depth of your fandom, or your relative depth of fandom compared to anybody else out there. It's a matter of, I know what's true and what isn't true, because I have knowledge that somebody else doesn't have. That does not require you to have to pass a fandom test to be able to prove the veracity of the statement. Like,
I will happily, but at the same time, I'll happily take a random test, especially when it comes to Motu.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, right? Like, if you had asked me 2 years ago when I started the project, I still would have been like, yeah, I'll take that test. But I would have been like, well, I got a 50-50 chance of winning. Now, oh shit! Like, I'm so steeped in the Motu, the Mattel mini comics lore. Every episode of fucking the Filmation show. We watched the 2002 show as well. We didn't go as deep, but like, it was wonderfully done and very close in spirit to what we've done, in as much as they continue the story. It's all the characters, they all look like the way they're supposed to, they know them and stuff like that. So, I'm happy I'm not looking for a fight, but like, if anybody's like, he don't know fucking He-Man, I'm like, all right, well, I guess you're about to see, like, in a month.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know part of the physics, but I know E equals MC squared. Here, so like, if I can we have E equals MC1, like, I have no, that's wrong because this is right. And I have the homework to prove. Like, you just want to think you didn't know, and you got defensive about what you didn't know.
I'll finding out that Chris Nolan didn't grow up steeped in Batman. You watch fucking Dark Knight Return or The Dark Knight or even Batman Begins, and you're like, oh my god, this motherfucker knows, he goes deep and hard on Batman and stuff. But he grew to know Batman pretty
Yeah,
well.
like I don't
It's not
think
like he
Kevin
was like,
Smith
oh, this
has
shit
to be
is
the
the
one to
one
try to
that
prove himself for anything.
So I'm not believing
That's
that
wild.
he's comparing us to Chris Nolan by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just echoing what Mark was saying as much as sometimes the world's biggest fan of a thing is not the person.
All right, man. That's gonna be the end of this one. So yeah, we got a two for one in this episode. So this is the one from earlier. This is the one from now. You can see here in this picture a little more accurate. I don't know why it's so bright. Well, I know why it's burning on the screen. It's because it's a shit recording of screen on screen action. And either way, got some got a couple of good ones here, man. I like it. So that's gonna be the end of this one, man. I'm G Mr. Drew. That's at G Mr. Drew on all social media. You can follow, like, and subscribe. GMrDrew.art, my website. All those links are in my bio. You can follow me, contact me through there. Anything like that. Any and all support is appreciated. I'm on my journey to affiliate status on Twitch, and if you like to support me, I have Patreon, and you can get commissions from me through there. Or if you just want to support just in general, I have a tier that's as low as $1 a month, and that's just strictly hey, I dig you. Let's I'll support you, for $1 a month. But then, for $3 a month, you can get a commission from me. So it's things is cheap as that. And yeah, man, that's about it. I want to thank anyone and everyone who's still watching this. This has been the Andrew Glowczewski Experience, episode 173, photo bashing characters together. Before I go, let's look at where we started. We started here, and we ended there. I think the ending looks a million times better than the beginning. That's for sure. So what did we do? We did some color change, then we added a face, and that's where a lot more happened. Got rid of the hat, added the beard, got some hair, got some body, some some longer hair, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, just signed this one and call it a day. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. And again, I want to express my appreciation, man. Anyone who watches this thing, you're the greatest. And as long as you're enjoying it, I guess that's all. That's all that really matters. So I'll be back in a little bit. I'll probably come back and do one more. I'm just gonna take a quick break. Other than that, yeah, man. Love y'all. Peace.